All right, fellas, welcome back. We've got some big news popping off in the world of Twitch and streaming right now. If you guys are on Twitter, on the internet, you're in the space, I'm sure you're hearing about this. There are updates dropping literally in real time. Like, the content of this video is rapidly changing as more info becomes available. I'm trying to keep up with it all, bro, all right? I'm just a fucking guy, just like you, all right? Let's get into it. Dr. Disrespect. Well, he's a creep. We know he's a creep because he told us. All right, he's finally dropped a statement about the reason that he was banned on Twitch. I'm gonna read you some highlights from it, but first, let's just go back to how all this shit started popping off, all right? So just a quick recap. If you were around back in 2017, 18, 19 in this space, right, the good old days, early PUBG, such a good time, dude. The Doc was the biggest streamer on Twitch. Like, him and Shroud pretty much own the entire website. Then one day, he just gets banned out of the clear blue. Nobody knew why. Nobody could talk about why. This thing got NDA'd into oblivion. So much speculation, but nothing ever came from it. There were some rumors, but he never commented on it. Nobody ever came out with any evidence or any type of accusation at all. Purely speculation. It was a big mystery for a while. So he disappears for a bit, and then he comes back via YouTube streaming. I think he's been pretty successful on YouTube here, all right? He didn't fall off in the way that a lot of streamers do after, you know, something big like that happens to them. Now, 4 years later, we're getting some updates. This is all via Jake Lucky on Twitter, so if you guys don't know him, he's basically the real-life version of this guy here. Anything in the video game world, this dude is just in the background lurking, but he's a good source, typically reliable from what I've seen. And he says, a former Twitch employee has come forward and stated the alleged reason for the Doc's permaban on Twitch being for sexting a minor in the previous Twitch Whispers product. He got banned, not naming any names, he just says he got banned because he got caught sexting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon, the powers that could be read in plain text, case closed gang. All right, so as I was reading the blowback to all of this last night on Twitter, I gotta say, fellas, all right, the dick riding is truly insane. I very much am one of those people who is like, well, we can't go off accusation, right? We need evidence, all right? You gotta prove someone guilty of especially something like this, dude. That's pretty big. We can't just be saying that random people are on the same plane as EDP 445, right? Like, calling someone the P word is a big deal, and these fucking Zoomers just throw it around like it's like the word Nazi. You know, it almost loses its meaning when you overuse it like that. So typically, I'm one of those let's see the evidence type of people, but you know what? I really wasn't quick to feel bad about any of this because I don't like the Doc at all. I have not liked this guy since he admitted to cheating on his wife. I think you got bad morals if you do something like that. People shouldn't be looking up to you. You're a bad person, all right? If you break your marriage vows, go fuck yourself. But when we're talking about little children here, obviously, even if I don't like you, I'm gonna have to hear something a little bit more than just a random dude on Twitter with like fucking 4,000 followers who apparently was trying to inflate ticket sales to his shitty band show or something. So we're all sitting around waiting for the Doc to respond. He replies to Jake and he says, Jake, seriously, I get it. It's a hot topic, but this has been settled. No wrongdoing was acknowledged and they paid out the whole contract. This reply underneath says it all, what everybody's thinking. He got ratioed on his own reply. No wrongdoing was acknowledged means this motherfucker did that shit. That's kind of what it sounds like. I don't think he did himself any favors with this response. You know, saying wrongdoing was not acknowledged is not the same thing as saying wrongdoing did not occur. Do I think he did anything truly criminal? Probably not, because if he did, I think he would be in jail or there would be a high-profile court case which people like Jake Lucky and others would be digging through the public documents for. But just because someone doesn't go to jail or get locked up doesn't mean they didn't do anything. And the way that he worded this just, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think the people on Twitter felt pretty much the same way. No wrongdoing was acknowledged does not mean no wrongdoing occurred. That's basically what I've been saying here. I'm gonna need a stronger statement than that after the allegations. And then best reply to the tweet by a long shot, trying to strike a chord, and it's probably, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Now, fellas, what's the number one rule about getting canceled? I'm always a proponent of this, right? If you're getting canceled, just shut the fuck up. Don't say anything, all right? Go on about your business. You can't get canceled if you don't allow yourself to. This is what T. Martin did in the CSGO Lotto scandal, all right? He posted an apology, then deleted it, and he just never talked about it again. And literally he was fine. Nothing happened. But the doc then puts out this tweet. Listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say that what I can since this is the internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All of this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal. No wrongdoing was found. And I was paid Elden Ring Monday. Again, this is not a great statement. I don't know why he felt the need to say this. His PR manager must have fucking wanted to rip his hair out, dude, when he saw this. He's like, dude, shut up. Then bomb number 2 drops. So the doc's game studio that he founded himself hears of the allegations and he gets fired from his own studio. They put out this statement. On Friday evening, we became aware of an allegation against one of our co-founders, Guy Beam, aka Dr. Disrespect. We assumed his innocence and began speaking with parties involved. In order to maintain our principles and standards as a studio, we needed to act. For this reason, we are terminating our relationship with Guy Beam immediately. These facts are difficult to hear and even more difficult to accept. Blah, blah, who really gives a fuck? All right, so here's the problem with this statement. Obviously, it seems like they knew something that we didn't, but without presenting evidence, this opened up your typical two sides of the argument, right? On one side, you got all the people who want to see the evidence, and on the other side, you got the games industry, which has just become a joke. All right, let's call it what it is. It's a joke. It's a bunch of DEI hires. It's a bunch of woke losers that pile on anybody who gets even like the slightest allegation against them. Doesn't matter if there's evidence or not. So all this did was cause an uproar, and everybody's waiting for the doc himself to actually make a statement. Well, he made it, and he's a creep and a loser. And we already knew this because he cheated on his wife, but now he's a real fucking loser. This was a very long statement, but I'm just going to read you the most important part. This is all you need to know. Were there Twitch whispers with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened, no pictures were shared, no crimes were committed, I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges has ever been brought against me. This is huge, because people have been waiting to hear the truth about this from him for 4 years. Even though it clears up a lot of things, there are still a lot of unanswered questions. We don't know how old this individual was, right? Okay, I think there's a big difference if you're talking to, say, a 17-year-old or a 9-year-old, right? I'm gonna treat that with different harshness for sure. None of it being okay. Let me just make that clear. But with this track record, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a 17-year-old girl who was gonna go to TwitchCon. She could have said something like, my 18th birthday is coming up. You know, this guy cheated on his wife. He's got no morals. Do not forget that. One thing I really want to know that nobody seems to be talking about, this Midnight Society, this studio he founded, how did these motherfuckers not know about this before going into business with him? Don't you think Robert Bowling would have been asking questions before signing $1 million contracts with a new studio like this? Maybe they were NDA'd to the point where it really couldn't be discussed. Maybe the NDA expired now, so now it's out in the open. Maybe it was never NDA'd at all. Maybe it's still NDA'd and some people are gonna get in big trouble for talking about this former Twitch employee in particular. Who knows? I'm sure he's gonna do whatever he can to save his reputation. Also, where's the girl? Is she under NDA? Does she even know that this happened over the conversation with her? I would imagine if there's, you know, say a 23-year-old female out there that could get some kind of notoriety or 15 minutes of fame off this, I think they would probably be willing to come forward. It's a lot to think about, right? One question gets answered and now that leads to 15 other questions that are now unanswered. He says he's taking a long vacation and he'll be back. I'm sure, you know, his fucking dick riders are gonna be more than happy to go back to his stream whenever he comes back. I didn't personally learn too much about him from this whole experience. We already knew he had bad morals. We already knew he's a shitty husband. And now on top of that, he's kind of a creep too. All right, stop making stupid people famous. God damn it. Bye.